Hey guys, welcome to the Learn to Profit channel. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to configure a Huawei GPON MA5800 from scratch and configure services in detail. This is a comprehensive tutorial, so be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more helpful videos. Shelf specification. The Huawei GPON MA5800 has a modular design, which allows for flexibility and scalability. The following is a typical shelf specification for the MA5800, with the used card's name added and more details about each card. Control card. This is the main processing unit of the MA5800. It is responsible for managing all of the other components in the system. Uplink cards. These cards provide connectivity to the backbone network. They support a variety of interfaces, including 10GE, 40GE, and 100GE. Service cards. These cards provide connectivity to the ONTs. They support a variety of interfaces, including GPON, XGPON, and XGSPON. In addition to the above, the MA5800 also supports a variety of other cards, including power supply cards. These cards provide power to the MA5800. Fan cards. These cards provide cooling for the MA5800. Management cards. These cards provide management and monitoring capabilities for the MA5800. The MA5800 can be configured with a variety of different shelf configurations, depending on the specific needs of the network. For example, a small network may only require a single shelf with a single control card, 2 uplink cards, and 4 service cards. A larger network may require multiple shelves, each with a control card, 2 uplink cards, and 4 service cards. The MA5800 is a highly versatile and scalable platform that can be used to meet the needs of a wide range of networks. Prerequisites. Before you start, you will need the following: a Huawei GPON MA5800 device, a console cable, a computer with a terminal emulator, outband and inband configuration. To configure the MA5800's outband and inband interfaces, use the following commands. #configure the outband interface. System view. Interface name. IP address subnet mask. Shutdown. Startup. Interface name. #configure the inband interface. Interface name. IP address subnet mask. Shutdown. Startup. Interface name. For example, to configure the outband interface with the IP address 192.168.1.1 and the subnet mask 255.255.255.0, you would use the following commands. System view. Interface Ethernet 0.0/1. IP address 192.168.1.1 Shutdown. Startup. Ethernet 0.0/1. To configure the inband interface with the IP address 192.168.1.2 and the subnet mask 255.255.255.0, you would use the following commands. System view. Interface Ethernet 0.0/2. IP address 192.168.1.255.255.0. Shutdown. Startup. Ethernet 0.0/2. Data, voice, and IPTV configuration. To configure data, voice, and IPTV services on the MA5800, you will need to create a service profile for each service and then bind the service profile to the ONTs that will be using the service. To create a service profile, use the following command. Data service profile. To create a data service profile, use the following command. Service profile data. This will create a service profile with the name, data. Voice service profile. To create a voice service profile, use the following command. Service profile voice. This will create a service profile with the name, voice. IPTV service profile. To create an IPTV service profile, use the following command. Service profile IPTV. This will create a service profile with the name IPTV. Binding service profiles to ONTs. Once you have created the service profiles, you can bind them to the ONTs that will be using the services using the following command. ONT bind ONT-id service profile name. For example, to bind the data service profile to the ONT with the ID 1, you would use the following command. ONT bind one service profile data. Configuring VLANs. You will also need to configure VLANs for each service. To do this, use the following commands. VLAN id. VLAN name. For example, to create a VLAN for the data service with the ID 10 and the name data VLAN, you would use the following commands. VLAN 10. VLAN name data VLAN. Binding VLANs to service profiles. Once you have created the VLANs, you can bind them to the service profiles using the following command. Service profile name VLAN id. For example, to bind the data VLAN to the data service profile, you would use the following command. Service profile data VLAN 10. Configuring COs. You may also want to configure COs to prioritize traffic for certain services. To do this, use the following commands. COs. Policy name. Class name. Traffic type. Priority. For example, to create a COs policy with the name data policy that prioritizes data traffic, you would use the following commands. COs. Data policy. Class data. Traffic type data. Priority 5. You can then bind the COs policy to the service profiles using the following command. Service profile name COs policy name. For example, to bind the data policy to the data service profile, you would use the following command. Service profile data COs data policy. Configuring multicast. To configure multicast for IPTV, you will need to create a multicast IGMP snooping group and bind the IPTV VLAN to the group. To do this, use the following commands. IGMP snooping group id. VLAN id multicast IGMP snooping group id. For example, to create a multicast IGMP snooping group with the ID 10 and bind the IPTV VLAN to the group, you would use the following commands. IGMP snooping group 10. VLAN 10 multicast IGMP snooping 10. Configuring IGMP proxy. You may also need to configure IGMP proxy if the IPTV service is provided by a third-party provider. To do this, use the following command. IGMP proxy. This will enable IGMP proxy mode. Verifying the configuration. Once you have configured the service profiles, VLANs, COs, multicast, and IGMP proxy, you can verify the configuration using the following commands. Display service profile. Display VLAN. Display COs. Display IGMP snooping. Display IGMP proxy. This will display the current configuration for service profiles, VLANs, COs, multicast, and IGMP proxy. SNMP v2 and v3 configuration. To configure SNMP v2 and v3 on the MA5800, use the following commands. #configure SNMP v2. System view. SNMP server. Community name RW. Exit. #configure SNMP v3. System view. SNMP server. Username authentication MD5, SHA-1 password. Username privilege level. Exit. For example, to configure SNMP v2 with the community name, public, and read-write access, you would use the following commands. System view. SNMP server. Community public RW. Exit. To configure SNMPv3 with the username, admin, and the password, 123456, you would use the following commands. System view. SNMP server. User admin authentication MD5 123456. User admin privilege. Thanks for watching.